5-second board now being shown to the drivers. The race about to get underway, and it is the red lights going on now. And they go out. Away they go then. So Ian Tomlinson and Scott Leach on the front row of the grid. Looks like Tomlinson just about hanging on to the lead there. The cars from row 2 and 3 not doing anything particularly remarkable there, kind of holding station as they go through. So it is Tomlinson, Leach, Hansey and Oak Richardson side by side there through Clervaux, and Jordan Johnson in 5th. His father Adrian looks to be in 6th spot as they head around Hawthorne for the first time onto the backstretch. So Tomlinson here has the lead from Leach as they head down to Tower.
Much less cars reversed than what Jordan Johnson feared there would be, didn't he? He thought he'd be much further back on the grid than this, so it's made the start probably a little bit more settled than it could have been. You were saying earlier how experienced Ian Tomlinson is in these cars, and he's got this opportunity then to win a race. He's right at the front.
You'd argue Scott Leach is probably even more experienced though, isn't he, in MX-5? He's been doing this for a very long time.
So both of them should be hard to get ahead of, but three behind have been fast this weekend. And now that Ben Hansey's played a little bit softer with Jordan Johnson in that last race, where he didn't make it very hard to beat him, or as hard as he could have done. I wonder if Ben Hansey now be looking for a win this time.
Gloves back off possibly. Leaders back at the complex for the first time in this race. Probably going to be 9 laps, I would think, that we get out of this. They're turning their way out of the hairpin, and the order is as it was. So that's Tomlinson, Leach, Hansey, Richardson, and then Jordan Johnson. Adrian Johnson in 6th after a little bit of a gap. But now Scott Leach looks to be pulling out of the tow here. He's alongside Ian Tomlinson on the run to Clervaux, but he's on the outside line, so tucks back in behind. So no change in the order there.
No, Tomlinson did pretty well to get the car turned in okay, because it's not the easiest line to approach Clervaux with. This has allowed Ben Hansey to be right on the bumper of Scott Leach, and a double tow therefore. Now it's side by side for the lead. Leach goes to the outside. Hansey's not really sure where to go, so he just follows Tomlinson. That could give him the opportunity though to get past the Scott Leach driven car for second place. They're still side by side though as they come down here to the S's. I think they might be. So
yeah.
Scott Leach, he's going to try and muscle his way in front, and he does so. So he's held on to P2 and lets Hansey deal with the line he was on, which meant that was a bit slidey. But it's a bit like the earlier races, isn't it? Where the first lap or so, everybody doesn't try too hard to gain a position. We saw that in race 2, the one earlier today, where Jordan Johnson stayed in 6th place for quite some time, and then sort of each lap towards the end he picked off a place.
It's all been kind of respectful so far, hasn't it? On this opening couple of laps. Leaders are back at the hairpin for the second time.
Thomas Holland up to 6th in. I wonder, remember he was off in race 1, whether he can chase this leading group now and make it at least one more car involved. Christian Young's the one who's not had a good start to this, isn't he? Because he was involved in that leading battle earlier.
He was almost in second at one point, wasn't he, in the earlier race?
So where has he got to?
Well, I can't see him on the timer screen at all. So did he even start the race? Didn't spot anything going on with the number 50 car. Anyway, we'll not worry too much about that at the moment, because we've got a race going on, and we've got still Ian Tomlinson in the lead of it, car number 9. From Scott Leach in 2nd place, and Ben Hansey 3rd. Ian Tomlinson was 6th in the championship last year, with 10 finishes inside the top 6, but none of them on the podium last year. So looking to put that right here. He's got a good chance to do so, but it's by no means a foregone conclusion, especially the way Scott Leach is going. He's good at this part of the circuit, isn't he, Scott Leach?
Yeah, this is very held Hansey off a lap ago. This time he goes down the inside of Tomlinson and goes through. Scott Leach takes the lead then. So is this going to hurry up Ben Hansey at trying to get past Tomlinson? Tomlinson finished 2nd back in 2019 when Ben Hansey won the championship, I think. So they know each other well. The practical liveried car there of Tomlinson up ahead of Hansey, and Leach is going to try and break away while he can, before Hansi gets second. But Hansi's going to have a go immediately around the outside into the complex. That doesn't work out for him terribly well. There's a green flag waving on the exit of Sunny. So is there a problem for someone a bit further back there?
Could be. So Scott Leach, it is that leads. He did have a couple of podium finishes during the course of last year. Both of them came at Donington Park in August. And watching the cars as they head down. Now is Scott just a little bit further forward? Yes, he is. So just out of this camera shot, there he is. Then it's Tomlinson in second, Hansi third, Richardson in fourth, and Jordan Johnson fifth. So whereas he was methodical in picking off cars in race one, Jordan Johnson, he's not set about doing that yet in this race. And we've already had 5.5 minutes of it, so only about 2/3 of the race left to go. Here comes Ben Hansi and Richardson trying to get past Ian Tomlinson on the way down towards Tower Corner. They might both make it through here. Let's have a look at they turn in. Yes, they do. So Ian Tomlinson's been mugged. He goes down to 4th place. He was in 2nd at the start of the straight.
Ian Tomlinson's the latest driver whose transponder has stopped working, so now ignore the fact that he's not being shown on the graphic, and he will be put back in now. So he was second, as Ian said, but he's dropped back, and now it's Jordan Johnson's turn to go past him. Tony Tomlinson had a few laps out front, but that's now seeing him drop to the back. I wonder if that green flag being waved was perhaps Christian Young was off down there from the opening lap, but that's now been withdrawn anyway. So no yellow flags down there anymore, and that's why that overtake could happen.
Yeah, that's right. He's going back to the complex then. So Tomlinson doesn't look like he's going to end his podium drought after all. So he has led this race. He's gone back to 5th. Didn't get a podium at all last year. Has had plenty of them in the past, of course. Now Ben Hansi starting to nibble at the back of the race leader Scott Leach here as they come through to complete lap number 4 of this race. So probably 5 laps to go. Heading down the start and finish straight towards Clervaux Corner for the 5th time. There's the confirmation of the order change. Hansi up to 2nd, Richardson 3rd, Johnson 4th, and now Ian Tomlinson down to 5th position. Here the tyres screaming on the limit of adhesion through Hawthorne there, now towards the chicane and onto the back straight. Car getting basically past our commentary box is number 31, and that's Neil Burrows, the Chichester driver. So he's dropping towards the back of the field now. As in Jordan Johnson, is he about to make a move? It is Ben Hansi about to make a move on the leader Scott Leach. He is. He's gone through at Tower Corner, but now comes the part of the circuit where Scott Leach seems really strong. So can Leach fight back the driver from Warwickshire on Northamptonshire man Ben Hansi? Not through the Jim Clark S's this time, it seems. So it's Hansi the new leader, 3rd different leader in this race then, after Ian Tomlinson and Scott Leach. We're going to get any more. We've got Oak Richardson and Jordan Johnson in 3rd and 4th positions. They'll have something to say about that, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're being conscious. They don't want Ben Hansi to get away and break the toe. As Scott Leach, was he defending or attacking? Probably defending.
Tom Holland's coming into this nicely as well, isn't he, in the 230 car? So we've got the race leader Ben Hansi then from Scott Leach in 2nd, and now Oak Richardson there in 3rd place.
Yeah, so they come up across the line then, and Ben Hansi ahead, a few car lengths, and is Richardson going to be able to fight? Oh, no, Leach braked extremely late. Can he get the car turned into the corner? Yes, just. If anything, though, he may have gained a bit of time, so he may have found how late you can brake into Clervaux and get through the corner, but that was probably on the edge of adhesion there.
I think he's opened himself up to attack here from Oak Richardson, though, along the back straight. Richardson now is diving out of the slipstream to the left-hand side of the circuit. That's going to be the outside line for Tower. Is Richardson going to be able to get past him here under braking for the right-hander? No, he's not, but will he get a cut back on the exit of the corner? Scott Leach does run a bit wide, so I think Richardson's going to get alongside here, but we're going through this part of the circuit now where, we've said it before, Leach is pretty strong. He just tries to stay side by side, but I think he's going to lose 2 places here. He runs wide on the exit of the corner. He's gone down to 4th, so it's Oak Richardson to 2nd now, and Jordan Johnson into the podium positions.
2nd ahead at this stage. So is this enough? Perhaps to make it 3 different winners. But whoever's led on to the last lap so far this weekend hasn't won it, so that's not the best place to be. We shall see. As you say, Tom Holland a lot closer. Matt Short's up to 7th, isn't he? So he's had a good run here.
Yeah, he's got ahead of Adrian Johnson now. He's in 8th place. Matthew Pennefather on 9th. Martin Vernon completing the top 10.
Oh, and he's off. Matthew Short's off the road. So is that a commentator's curse there?
I think it probably was, Josh.
So he's rolling backwards. Not sure if there was any contact involved there. Heard lots of tyre squeal behind the commentary box. But he's away now. He's lost lots of positions. So that again, the promote Adrian Johnson into P7.
Leads are on to lap 7 now, though, and Ben Hans is just in the best lap of the race, a 1:41.37, and he's pulled out a gap of 1.17 seconds now over the rest of the field. Now, could this be decisive? They're on to lap 7. There'll be 2 more to go after this, and Jordan Johnson realises that he needs to make a move now on Oak Richardson if he's going to win this race.
Oak Richardson so late on the brakes into Tower. That was his advantage in race, or the earlier race. And why Hans couldn't get past him, I think. And again, he's proved to be very strong at that part of the circuit, Ian.
Certainly has. So it's Hansi leading, Richardson second. So the 2 winners from yesterday and earlier on this afternoon are 2nd and 3rd at the moment. We're going to get 3 different winners from the opening round of the season. We thought it was going to be wide open this year in the 5 Club Racing MX-5 Cup. And
well, since last year, Ian, whenever Ben Short was there, we didn't have any other winners. It's quite a big improvement, isn't it?
Certainly in terms of the level of competition from a sort of third-party vantage point, as it were. Look at that gap between Tom Holland and Adrian Johnson. It's about 8 seconds between 6th and 7th position. Just about saw Adrian Johnson appearing in the back of shot coming out of Sunny there. Well, what's Ben Hansi's lead going to be? He's going to have 2 more laps to go at the end of this one. It was 1.17 seconds. I've got the feeling it might be a little bit more than that now. Over the line they go. And waiting for the timing screen to update itself. It's 1.51 seconds now. So, if anything, it's getting tougher for Jordan Johnson to secure his 2nd win of the season. And it's looking more likely that we do get 3 different winners out of the weekend.
Driving standards flag going out. Don't think we've had a penalty in the MX-5 yet this weekend. A big bump over the curb for Matthew Pennefather Neil there. But I think he's okay. So he continues his battle. He's got Jack's Norris Cross on the back of Jake Mickelwright's car behind him. And Adrian Johnson just ahead. Martin Vernon not far behind as well in this little scrap for P7. 8, 9 and pretty much 10th as well from Martin Vernon. Then I get back to Samuel Gormer, who's there in 11th position, the driver in his 2nd season from Suffolk. But big challenge around the outside into the S's for Neil, but he can't quite do it. Adrian Johnson, the driver from Gloucestershire, then hangs on to 7th. So turn here down into Sunny. He's been racing MX-5 throughout 6 seasons now. Adrian Johnson, and I'm sure he'd be absolutely delighted for his son, won't he, after Jordan's win earlier on this afternoon.
Absolutely right. Anyway, we're about to get the last lap underway, and the gap has come down, and it's Oak Richardson still in 2nd place. So what was 1.51, I'll tell you what it is, as we see a mistake from Matthew Pennefather Neil there, loses a bit of time. 1.51 has become, waiting for the screen to update itself.
Change for 2nd, Ian, into Clairvaux. Jordan Johnson's got down the inside of Oak Richardson, who kicks his foot in across the curb, and that means he can get the car tightened up through Hawthorne, side by side into the chicane. Doesn't normally work out, and Johnson goes the wrong side. Leach goes the wrong side of the bales as well. And, well,
Johnson's come out in front, hasn't he?
Yeah, by a larger margin. And behind them, Thomas Holland's got the better of Ian Tomlinson, so that got all a little bit busy, which surely will mean Ben Hansi has extended his advantage.
Somewhat academic now. It was 1.29 seconds the gap at the end, so it had come down, but with that those various offs, that's not going to change. Tom Holland, you can see, ahead of Ian Tomlinson now. Adrian Johnson's got a 5-second penalty, so he won't finish 7th as things stand, because he's got a whole gang of cars behind him, so he'll lose several places once that penalty has been applied, but still got to sort out the overall top 3. And they are up at Sunny now.
Yep, and looks settled for Hansey and Johnson. Looks like Richardson's there in 3rd position, doesn't it? So they're having the 3 quickest drivers this weekend, although Ian Tomlinson's got the fastest lap in this race, so 1:41.36 last time. It's going to be 3 winners this weekend at Croft.
Yeah, in the Switch MX-5 Cup by 5 Club is Ben Hansey, number 40 then, that comes up to the line, and he will take the checkered flag. Congratulations to Ben Hansey. Jordan Johnson it is in 2nd place, and Oak Richardson in 3rd, so he has 3 podiums during the course of the weekend. Scott Leach takes 4th, Tom Holland 5th, and Ian Tomlinson 6th. 7th on the road is going to be Adrian Johnson, but where is he going to be on adjusted times once that 5-second penalty has been added? We'll figure that out in a second. He's going to be probably 10th, I would think, at best. Yeah, 10th place he will be, so it will be a promotion for Jake Micklewright to 7th. Got the 23 car that has gone off on the final lap. That's Martina Ward. Again, unfortunately, towards the end. 8th place went to Jake Micklewright, 9th to Matt Neal, and 10th to number 99, Martin Vernon. And I'm afraid it also looks like Mary Barnard has had another unfortunate end to the race, because she's just pulled into the pit lane, having failed to take the checkered flag, Josh.
Yeah, that's right. So disappointing end for a pair of drivers there. But not disappointing for Ben Hansey, because he is a race winner here at Croft in the 3rd round of the Switch MX-5 Cup by 5 Club Racing.
Ben Hansey, then the winner, number 40, 9 laps completed, and he was 1.4 seconds ahead of number 92, Jordan Johnson. 3rd place went the way of number 17, Oak Richardson. 4th to number 13, Scott Leach, and 5th to number 230, Tom Holland. The early leader, Ian Tomlinson, number 9, took 6th. Then we need to add 5 seconds to Adrian Johnson's time, so that will drop him to 10th place in number 22. 7th will be 32, Jake Micklewright. 8th, 21, Matthew Pennefather-Neal. 9th, 99, Martin Vernon. Then 10th, Adrian Johnson. Then it will be Samuel Gormer, David Brown, Nico Favreau and Matthew Short after his spin at the complex mid-race. Andrew Robinson, Arden Wardley, Philip Barrett and Neil Burrows. We lost Mary Barnard and Martina Ward right towards the end of that race as well. So that's the Switch MX-5 Cup by 5 Club. And that's their first 3 rounds of the season completed. They'll have another triple header for their next meeting. That's at Anglesey in 4 weeks' time. And then they go to Mallory Park and the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. They have double headers at both of those venues before going back to triple headers for their final 3 events of the year at Snetterton on the 300 circuit, Silverstone on the international circuit, and at Donington Park as well. So lots of racing as ever for the 5 Club Racing MX-5 Cup. And we look forward to seeing them in action again at Anglesey. And that means that we've just got one more race left to go for this weekend. That is going to be the feature race of the weekend, though, the Tagiwa Club Enduro Championship. Very shortly we'll head downstairs, though, to hear from our top 3. And we can go down to Chris Stevens right now to hear from Oak Richardson, Jordan Johnson and Ben Hansey.
There's 3 different winners in the 5 Club Racing MX-5 Cup, and Ben Hansey, you've been threatening to do this all weekend. You finally managed to do it.
Yeah, the reverse grid always helps a little bit, mix things up. And it was a good little battle for the first couple of laps, and then a bit more short-esque. I checked out and then watched them all battle on behind me.
I mean, just talk us through that initial battle. It looked fairly intense.
Yeah, Scott's a wily old fox. He's been doing Mazdas since I was a kid, I think. So he's got a few tricks up his sleeve. But he managed to tuck himself up a little bit up at Tower, and I got the run on him, and then, as I say, checked out.
Great stuff. Congratulations. 3 podiums for you as well this weekend. Great weekend overall. Jordan Johnson in 2nd place. Another cracking drive where you managed to just pick off cars one by one. Seemed like you were going for slightly more aggressive moves this time, though.
Yeah, again, I didn't really get the start I wanted to, and I was trying. It wasn't going as easy as it did in the last race with the moves. So yeah, I had to get my elbows out a bit. Me and Oak had a good battle at the end there. I don't think I put him in the gravel too much, but I was trying to keep my car on the track as well. So yeah, good battle.
Yeah, it seemed like initially you were just finding your rhythm, finding your pace, and then you just start striking.
Yeah, that's it. I always feel like my car's a bit better in the second half of the race. So I think if I just don't overdrive it in the first half, I can start picking off in the end, second half of the race, and that's what I've been able to do today. So well happy.
Great stuff, well done. Congratulations on second place. Let's grab a very quick word with Oak Richardson. Oak, I mean, you scored a few podiums last season, but you've managed to do 3 in 1 weekend here.
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it? Could have been better, could have been worse. Quite close on the last lap. There was nearly a big shunt, but Jordan backed out of it, so all's good.
Expecting this form to continue throughout the rest of the season?
Well, can only hope, can't we?
Great stuff, great stuff. All right, I'd love to chat more, I really would. But as you can hear, the next group of cars are already on their way out. Coming up next is the main event of the weekend, the one we've all really been waiting for. It is the start of the Tequila Club Enduro Championship.